Section 1-6 was had a lot of vocabulary in it. So if we look here, we're starting to graph now. So we have a coordinate grid or a coordinate plane, and each point is called an ordered pair. You have the x-axis, that's the horizontal one, and the y-axis is your horizontal or your vertical axis. The origin is in the middle. That's at 0, 0. An x-coordinate is the first coordinate in the ordered pair, and the y-coordinate is the second coordinate. So every ordered pair goes x first and then y. A relation is just a set of ordered pairs. So anytime I have more than one ordered pair, like here, this would be called a relation because it's a set, a more than one ordered pair. The domain would be my x values, and the range would be my y values. Okay, so my domain is x values, and my range is the y values. So if I do a mapping diagram for this set of ordered pairs, I will put the x coordinates first on the left. These are the domain values, and the range values are the y values on the right hand side, and then I would draw an arrow to get to each. Okay, so there's different ways to represent relations. You can represent them as ordered pairs. So if I have these 3 ordered pairs, I could put them in a table like this, or I could graph them on an ordered or on a coordinate grid, or I could do a mapping diagram. So with the domain on the left and the range on the right, and an arrow from the x to the y that it goes with in the ordered pair. So if we do this one down here, it says determine or express 4, -3, 3, 2, -4, 1, and 0, -3 as a table, a graph, and a mapping. And then it says determine the domain and the range. So if we use these as our ordered pairs, 4 would be the x, and then 3, and then -4, and then 0. So 4, 3, -4, 0. And the y's that go with them are -3. Make sure that the -3 is across from the 4, so 4, -3, 3, 2, 3, 2, -4, 1, and 0, -3. So this is my table. My graph would be, if I were to graph the points, again, the first coordinate is the x. So these are positive x values over to the right, and negative x values over to the left. These are positive y values up at the top, and negative to the bottom. This is 0, 0. So we're going to go up from there, right, left, down. So if I have 3, 2, I would go 3 on the x, 2 on the y, and the place that those connect is where I place my ordered pair. So 3, 2 is right here. 4, -3 would be here. 0, -3 is here because I go nowhere on the x, just down. And then -4, 1 is going to be right here. And then a mapping diagram. I'm going to put my x values and then my y values. And then I'm drawing an arrow. Notice there's only 3 y values. That's because in my ordered pairs, -3 repeats in the y values. And I'm only going to write it once. But I'm going to have 2 arrows that go to it. So 4 goes with -3, so there's an arrow from 4 to -3. 3 maps to 2, so I'm going to put an arrow from 3 to 2. -4 maps to 1, so -4 goes to 1, and 0 goes to -3. So again, 0, I have to draw an arrow all the way up to -3. So if there's a repeat, I'm not going to put it more than once. And then determine the domain and range. So my domain would just be all of my x values. And I need to put them in order from small to big. So -4 is my smallest of the x values, and then 0, 3, and 4 in numerical order. And the range, same thing, I put in numerical order, so -3, 1, 2. And again, I'm not going to write the -3 twice. I'm just going to write it once. Okay, so put it in numerical order and do not write repeated numbers more than once. All right, if we look at the next page and do look at example 2, this is talking about independent and dependent. The independent variable is your x variable, and the dependent would be your y variable. But what you're trying to ask yourself is, which one of these depends on the other one? So this says the air pressure inside a tire increases with the temperature. So that means that if I increase the temperature, then my air pressure will increase also. So I'm going to change this one. That makes it the independent variable. And then this one will change based on that. So this is my dependent variable. So I would write my independent variable is the temperature, and my dependent is the air pressure in the tire, because the air pressure depends on what the temperature is. Okay, and then the second one says, as the amount of rain decreases, so does the water level. So this one is going to change, and then this one will change after. So the amount of rain is going to be my independent variable, and then the water level is my dependent variable, because the water level depends on how much it has rained. Okay, so I would write amount of rain is my independent, and then my water level is the dependent variable. Lastly, we're looking at graphs, and it's wanting us to describe what's happening. So we're going to look at our axes. This is time and distance, and our title is driving to school. So that means as time goes by, as time goes on, what's happening to the distance to school. So it says it's increasing, then it's flat. That would mean that we're stopped. Increasing again, flat again, and then increasing. So I could write something like, you can say several different things, but I could put, at first I drove fast to school. So this is me driving fast to school. And then I stopped. And then I drove slowly because it's less steep. And then I stopped again. But finally I continued at the same speed that I was going. So that's something that I could write for this graph. The other one is talking about time and income. So I can see that my income is going to be continually increasing. There's not really a point that it decreases. So I'm increasing, and then I increase very quickly, then increasing again. This one right here, it kind of stays the same with my income, and then I start increasing again. So I could write something like, as time went by, my income increased. Then it increased faster, and then slower again. There was a small time I had no change in income, and then it started increasing again. So I could write something like that. So that's about all you have in this section. There's a lot of information, so you should probably do at least your check for understanding. I know we did some of those in class also, so you might want to do these as well.